People are creatures of habit. If you desire success in your personal and professional life, then you have to take a good look at the habits you have formed, and which are likely to lead to success, and which ones pull you down. Unfortunately, not all of our habits are good for us. If we are in the habit of smoking to relieve stress or anxiety, or overeating junk food, or taking our frustration out on others, we must recognize these as habits worth eliminating from our lives. Our habits shape our identity. If you can get 1% better each day for 1 year, you'll end up 37 times better by the time you're done. Conversely, if you get 1% worse each day for 1 year, you'll decline nearly down to zero. Focus on making small improvements each day, and over time those small improvements will equate to massive change. Bad habits also compound over time. If you delay working on something every day, the bad habit of procrastinating will multiply and seep into other areas of your life. Atomic Habits by James Clear offers a step-by-step plan for building better habits for a lifetime. It is the definitive guide to breaking bad behaviors and adopting good ones in 4 steps, showing you how small, incremental, everyday routines compound and add up to massive positive change over time. The focus of positive habits. Most people approach changing their habits by focusing on what they want to achieve, the prize, and not who they want to become, their identity. With outcome-based habits, the focus is on what you want to achieve. With identity-based habits, the focus is on who you wish to become. Outcome-based habits are, let's say you want to become a best-selling author, so you start dreaming about being a famous author and all other things that accompany being famous. You focus on the end goal, and you don't put a lot of effort on the important task of writing. Identity-based habits are, let's say you do want to become a writer, so you should write. So you get a pen and paper and you start practicing writing daily. You don't put a lot of pressure on the goal about being a best-selling author. Rather, you focus on the habit of writing, and the results coming afterward will just be a bonus. The 4-step pattern of habits. When it comes to habits, James suggests that environment is the invisible hand that shapes human behavior. That's why a prompt or trigger is always the first step in performing any habit. Here are the 4-step pattern of how habits work. Number 1, the cue. It is a piece of information that suggests there's a reward to be found, like the smell of a cookie. Number 2, craving. The motivation to change something to get the reward, like tasting the delicious cookie. Number 3, response. Whatever thought or action you need to take to get the reward. And lastly, the reward, the satisfying feeling you get from the change, along with the lesson whether to do it again or not. The 4 laws of behavior change. From the 4-step pattern, James then derives 4 laws of behavior change, which correspond to each step in the habit-making pattern. Number 1, make it obvious. Making a habit obvious has several steps. The first is deciding on a time, place, and location and saying, I will do X at X time in X location. The second is shaping your environment in a way that it will help reinforce good habits and eliminate bad ones. Number 2, make it attractive. People usually find good habits non-inherently pleasurable. Here are a few ways to make it easier to start and stick to. The first one is do something you like while you engage in an activity that is harder to stick to, like listening to music while working out. The second is doing a pleasurable activity after your more difficult action, and you will look forward to doing the hard task to get the good stuff. And the last is joining clubs or being with people where your desired habit is the norm. Number 3, make it easy. The easier it is to take action, the more likely the habit will stick. Remember, it's not about willpower, it's about developing a system that makes your habits easy. The first thing is that showing up consistently is more important than doing it perfectly. Second, always find the simplest way that you can start and act on the habit you want to build. Reduce friction, for example, by joining a gym on the way to work. Third, at the beginning, your habits should be easy to follow through. Start small and build over time. And lastly, Make it impossible to waste time on bad habits. For example, ask your partner or a friend to change your password on your social media account so you don't get it back until later. Number 4, make it rewarding. The first 3 steps increase the chances you will perform the action. Increasing the reward will make it more likely that you will repeat the behavior and hence turn it into a habit. Putting it into action. To ensure that you continue with a habit, you must keep a record of all the behaviors you want to establish or abandon, and at the end of each day, you mark which ones you've succeeded with. This record can be a single piece of paper, a journal, a calendar, or an app. The most powerful technique that will help you build better habits in the future and also allow you to achieve your forthcoming goals is to set deadlines. Write things down. Setting deadlines increases the odds for people to stick with their habits and goals in general. These regular habits have the power to change lives. If you're maintaining a good caliber of habits, you'll thrive, feel good, look good, and enjoy your life. On the other hand, if you're intolerant about your daily routines, you'll sink. Keep in mind that there is no finish line. Keeping good habits is a continuous process. There is never a real victory. There are only improvements and constant work. That's the secret of achieving world-famous results. As Aristotle once said, "We are what we repeatedly do." Excellence then is not an act, but a habit.